things not that important, like the procedure materials hypothesis part. I'm very sorry, I think I've explained to you before that I switched computers this year, so there's a bunch of typos because I'm using old, outdated papers by accident. Unwittingly, I gave you the outdated version of salinization that required the procedure material hypothesis part. So you probably did a bunch of work that you didn't need to. Might be, I just discovered that this morning. I apologize, what more can I do? The part I do need to see in the post-lab brief lookup is the data analysis, discussion, and conclusion. If you don't have those, please don't bluff. Please don't have it out on your table. If you have them, show me what I'm looking for. Data analysis, discussion, conclusion, I'll stamp it where it says this. 1, 2, 3, I'll stamp it where it says this. You can get that ready now. I'd like to show you a picture that conclusively proves my utter genetic superiority. There's your proof right there. I win, you lost. Because look at my beautiful children. Look at the talented wife that I have sucked from the breeding pool. She made this amazing hot air balloon in that amazing unicorn costume. I win. I have officially dominated Halloween for 3 years running now with my beautiful son. Look at that. Little dude. Okay. I don't know what other sleazy photographs are on my Facebook, so I'll go straight to what I wanted to show you. I'm really sorry that you had to see my Facebook news feed. Okay. Something else I wanted to show you. We ran a survey and found that more students were planning to attend Earl Warren Showgrounds College Night than not. College night goes from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight. I have been told, even though I don't go, so you'll correct me if I'm wrong, I've been told that you can show up a few minutes late and not miss very much because you just circulate around a bunch of different college tables. So, here's what we've done. College night is from 6 to 8. We would have had our after-school environmental film starting at 6, finishing at 7:15, 7:10. People would have been rushing to the last few minutes of college night, big hassle. So we have rescheduled after-school environmental film tonight to 5 p.m. It's a 67-minute film. The last few minutes are just the credits. So if you have to bounce, you turn in your paper at about 6:04, 6:05. Take about 10 or 15 minutes to drive safely to Earl Warren Showgrounds. You'd be maybe 15 minutes late with an hour 45 to go. I think you can still get full value from tonight's after-school environmental film and college night if you choose to do that. Yeah?
Like the APES, what's the most amount of extra you get unit?
That's a good thing for you to ask. Everybody please look up. One of the things I put on Facebook is this. My revised extra credit policies. How many of you saw that go up last night? The rest of you have one more reason to join our Facebook group. We now have a new extra credit policy posted. All the revisions are highlighted. And you'll notice when you read the revised extra credit policies that I have raised the number of movies you can see in a unit to 3. I've also created another method of extra credit. You find good material for the class and I'll pay you in points. It's described in that middle chunk of yellow. Right there. You'll notice the material must be new, the submissions must be brief, and it has to be relevant to the class. All you do is tell me which part of the study guide you're talking about, and then one sentence about why you think it's relevant. Like, look, it's a cool local example, or this clarifies something from class, or this conflicts with what Jose said in class. Prove me wrong, I'm always happy to admit it. Clearing up a question from class. And then, I've even put examples on the Facebook group so you'll know what we're looking for. Sorry, Farin Oz wants to talk. There's no Farin? So this example, here's a link. I tell you down here why that one wouldn't receive credit. Here's another example. You tell me what you're talking about, one sentence about why it's important, and then you'll notice that in the comments, I say current, interesting, brief, and relevant, that would get credit. And then here's another example, what you're talking about, why I think it's relevant, and then down here, why you get no credit anyway. Please look at the examples on Facebook. I'll give you a little warning. If you find something that's interesting, relevant, good for the class, I'll give you a half extra credit point. There's a limit on how many you can do per unit, whatever. Ooh, I don't think that's on there. Dang, I'll have to add that maximum.
What is the maximum?
What's that?
What's the maximum?
It is 6 submissions per week.
How you said it has to be new,
So here's I wanted to say this. I gave you a half extra credit point for bringing us new content to the class, but I'll give you a warning. I'm also giving you a half extra credit point to prove that another student was wrong and that it's not you. So Daniel says, hey, look at this. And I go, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Give you a half point, Daniel. And then Tyler goes, ooh, actually, that was on page 37 of the book. And I go, oops. 0 points for Daniel, half point for scalping Daniel.
Oh, so new, I thought by new you meant like a new study or something.
Just new to the content of the class. It also has to be current. So if you're like, hey, this isn't in the class, but it was published in 1998, it might have not been in the class because it's outdated.
So by current, it could be like within a year.
12 months, exactly. Last 12 months.
Does it have to apply to the chapter that we're in?
It has to be in the current unit, not the current chapter. But it has to be the current unit. Anybody else? Other questions? Look, I hope you understand. I want you guys to do more learning. So, like, if you're at home and you're, like, searching the internet and reading stuff, like, I want to reward you for that.
So it's just like, how did you say it was supposed to turn?
On Facebook, the instructions are also posted on Facebook, and I'll print it out tomorrow for those of you that would rather have it on a sheet of paper. I just finished that last night, had to go to a party, and then I got home really late.
But we also can bring in articles like papers, right?
We are not doing paper. No paper. Facebook only. You can scan it if you have to and put up a JPEG or whatever, I guess. But what magazine doesn't have a website? Okay, anybody else? Anything else on that? I'm going to come around and stamp your homework while you watch the preview for tonight's movie. After I stamp your labs, take out 4.3 because we're going to talk about it. Trailer for tonight's film. Have all your classes been having trouble with the Aries? How's it mean?
Like the banking industry, our nation's food supply has become overly centralized. food for the global marketplace and from factory farms in the U.S. has diminished both quality and choice. These foods are also major contributors to an obesity epidemic that is projected to shorten the lifespan of America's youngest generation. Food-related concerns are inspiring a movement that is spreading from the White House to restaurants and backyards across the country. Direct sales from farm to consumer are now the fastest-growing segment of American agriculture. People are discovering the social, environmental, and economic benefits of participating in local food communities. What began more than 35 years ago as a dialogue between farmers and chefs has now become a national conversation about the origins and the future of our food.
Eating food that's locally grown, sustainably farmed, buying it in a farmer's market, eating it with your family and friends, this isn't a fad. It's not something that's just sort of in one day and out the next. This is what people have been doing since the beginning of time. And it's about our humanity. It's a civilizing ritual. It gives meaning to life. Food is part of everybody's experience, the pause in the day that's possible to reflect and share.
About tonight's film, I gotta tell you, I finally just saw this last night. Other people have told me, oh, you gotta show this movie, So I put it on the schedule before I even saw it. And then I saw it, and I really like it. It's really inspiring, and, it's very positive, and it's all about solutions, very little about problems. And, I was, really stoked to watch it. I think that this was a really good film for people that are foodies. If you're, into food, or your parents are really into cooking, it's a really rad film. Definitely not one of our, big, oppressive downer movies. It's wow, there's really good food out there. Here's why you should be eating it, and go out there and have fun eating it. In the first 40 minutes of the film, I had to stop 3 times to get food. It's killer. It's a really good, fun, enjoyable, inspiring film.